A tech founder believes scaling is primarily about generating more leads, putting more money in the ad spend, hiring more people, or launching more webinars. But after closely working with more than 50 edtech founders globally across different domains like K-12, test prep, students and working professionals, and even into B2B as well, what we have found out that scaling is really a traffic problem. It usually boils down to your positioning, business model systems, retention systems, and overall a scaling infrastructure. Because many founders can grow their business to 5 lakh, 10 lakh, even 30, 40 lakh as well. But after some point, they hit a ceiling because they lack the internal infrastructure that is needed for sustainable scaling. Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk about top 5 things that I will look into if I have to build a edtech business from scratch in 2026. And I will also going to give you the right example for each of these steps from our portfolio companies that has generated more than combined 40 crore in edtech sales in last 3 to 4 years. So without any further delay, let's jump in. So these are the 5 pillars that I will walk you through. The very first is a learner stickiness, retention as a revenue strategy. Second is premium value positioning, which is the most important thing, right? If you don't know how to position yourself, you will not be able to have that margins. And again, differentiating factor. Market tailwind, step number 3, which basically means choosing the right category to grow in edtech ecosystem. Now, this is one of the most important things that can help you grow and scale your business, depending upon which category you're operating in. Then comes operational leverage. Whether when you are scaling your ad tech, okay, we are getting more sales. Is your operational cost scaling proportionately? If that is the case, then again we need to find out and do some tweaking. And last is building a moat that is that competitor cannot copy, okay, cannot mess around. So I'll go one by one here, and I will also going to give you the examples. So let's start with the first one, which is learner stickiness. Now, what I mean by stickiness, stickiness basically means whether you have a proper system in place inside your business so that the same buyers or customers from you buy again and again. That is to increase the LTV. So that's what I mean by stickiness. So let's deep dive in detail. So learner stickiness, basically retention as a revenue strategy. Now, majority of tech founders that I work with, they always have keep that in mind that they want to get more sales, more sales, more sales, more sales, more sales. Everybody in the market is running after more sales, but nobody is thinking on retaining the same customer and increasing their LTV, upsell, downsell, cross sell, or repeat buying. This is exactly what strategy followed by some of the greatest business, not only into the edtech domain, but in any domain. Always look at the billion-dollar companies, multi-million dollar companies, why they have been able to, scale so fast to that level, or why they have been there in the business from last 30 years, 50 years, or even 100 years company, because the customers are repeating again and again. So do you have that in your business or not? Right? So keep the learners engaged and revenue follows basically. So learner stickiness measures how reliable users are returning back to you, re-engaging with you, keep paying you after enrollment. Now, for example, I will give you a case study of this company called 1 to 10x.com, like one of the multi-crore companies that we work with. They were selling to data analytics and generative AI kind programs into US and UK markets at like 2,000, 3,000 US dollars, okay, at that price. But it was back in 2025 at the beginning of it. So what they used to do is, so they were having this program, okay, which they were selling, like they can learn all these, set up everything, everything, everything. Then they were having 1,000 to 1,500 US dollars kind of mentorship where their team will apply for the job and help them to find a job. Additional service. So there was a cohort which students can learn all these skills, tools, data analytics, and how to become a highly paid, into that domain. But along with that, they were having a recruitment team as well at the back end who will apply and supply their resumes and find them those interviews that they were looking for. So it was an end-to-end solution they were providing. Hey, you learn the skills, you learn the tools, you build the projects, and then we have a one more team, recruitment team, who will apply on your behalf for the jobs, so that you don't have to go outside and no. This is such an amazing thing, right? Because the next step for anybody who has learned a new skill or who has learned like who is into data analytics is to find the interview, the opportunity, job opportunities, and that's the problem they were solving. So they were having a certain percentage of people who were upgrading, upselling, or whatever you want to call it, buying that offer as well. So that's how they were increasing the LTV of the customer. So first 30 to 60 days are very decisive in your EdTech program. So for example, if you want to build EdTech, now in today's time, I think I will cover more in that step number 3. I will pick working professional or the age bracket of somewhere from 20 to 50. or 20 to 40, 45. That bracket I will pick because India has the largest population in that bracket. Point one. Point two, I will target the freshers and working professional because they do have some paying capacity, especially working professional. Secondly, there is a lot of layoffs and new things that are coming in, right? The problem, urgency is there because they need to upskill. They need to, you know, get out their common comfort zone that they are into right now, and they have to upskill. That is the thing that I will hit or target towards, and I will go for the upskilling of them, right? So this is the audience that I'm gonna pick. They have a paying capacity, there is urgency. I will help them upskill, get that next promotion or something, whether it's IT work or non-IT work, finance, law, or whatever that is, or whether it's an IT domain, right? Engineering and all, whatever data and all that stuff. Cool. So your first 30 to 60 are very decisive. Learners who reach 6 months rarely leave. So that means you need to make them win as quickly as possible. They should see that they have got something within first 30 days. That's what we call stickiness. Whatever you are, curriculum you are having, they need to execute that and they need to get that first win. They should feel the difference. I've joined your program. There's a difference in my life. That's why they're gonna stick with you. Otherwise, first 30 days decide whether they will be there with you or not, or maximum 2 months. They make up their mind whether how long they will stay with you. So subscription renewals are 5x, 7x cheaper than new acquisitions. And you can build a subscription based model as well, where they can subscribe to every time to your community, to your platform, something on those lines. Like Ankur Varuk is one of the great examples in India right now. He shut down his 100 crore course empire. He's turned that into a subscription based model. Pay 2,000 rupees every year. And you will get all the access to the new courses that we're going to add. Subscription based. Simple. Right? So retention signals product market fit and drives organic referral. Now, it's a very key important point. Even top-notch, multi-millionaires or billionaires founders know this. Retention is much important than compared to the acquisition, new sales, because retention signal that product market fit and that your product is worth sticking to with. I've been working with the EdTech founders from last 3 years. They keep on renewing with us. Some of our early clients. Why? 3 years. Guess how much money we have made from just from that one customer, LTV. Right? High churn forces endless refill sales cycles. So churn rate should be less. Okay. So how to do it? As I mentioned, you need to make them feel they win something. That initial win, whatever that can be. If you are helping a K-12 student to learn robotic or AI, help them make that first robot. Help them work towards that first project. They feel they really learned it. Similarly, if you are into test prep, NEET, GATE, GMAT, IIT, whatever that you're helping, make them win that first month, 30 days, 45 days. That's the most important critical task. Okay. So professionals upskilling platform cut 90-day churn rate by 38% and grew retention from 61% after design. Right. So you need to have proper onboarding structure and that first win within that first 30 day, that is the most important thing. Do multiple check-ins with them. Do that accountability with them. Are they executing on it or not? That's the most important part. They will decide whether they will stick with you or not. Right. Let's move to the next number two. Step number two. Value proposition or value positioning. So if you really want to charge premium into the EdTech, like if you really want to sell high ticket programs, you need to position yourself well. And when it comes to positioning, I repeat this entirely in my all the videos, that you need to focus on these four things. Who's the target audience? Who is your real audience? What problem you are solving for them? That means the outcome. I help non-IT working professional to build a high-paying career as a data engineer. Now, one of a company that I'll be working with is Seco Big Data. They are doing around approximately 5 to 10 lakh a month. Okay. Now, with them, we have identified their positioning. They want to target non-IT working professionals. Okay. So that means if you want to build a high-paying career into, let's suppose, so attention IT working, non-IT working professionals, build a 15 to 20 LPA career into data as a data engineer in just 6 months, even if you have zero coding experience. Look at that. So, problem, who is this for? Target audience, what outcome you're offering. Third thing is in how much timeline you're offering that outcome. Timeline is important in today's time. People need clarity on the outcome and the timing. Fourth, if you have a guarantee attached to it, any guarantee that you have, this can really help you charge premium, grow your margins. If you are playing a game of discounting and beating your competition, all the best. Your business will shut down very soon if you're playing that game, unless until you're a funded company. And they also make like doing a lot of losses. All those who pay, you know, do this. And 90% of the audience that I work with, my portfolio companies are bootstrap companies. I work with the Shark Tank brands too, who are funded there. So create a headroom to reinvest in product quality, instructors, and learner success. So thin margin forces a false choice between growth and quality. Because when you have very low margins, you cannot reinvest that money because hardly you are making any money, right? Okay. So what you need to do is you need to position yourself in a proper way using this formula which I shared with you. Si- 1 to 10x is a one great example. I mean, Loctopus is one of the great example, right? The Seiko Big Data, KT Semicons. Now, this is another great example. Let me show you this case study of this guy. Hope you can see this here, right? Look at this one. From 3 to 4 lakh to 25 lakh per month in just 2 months. Look at this case study. Look at this. See the CM of the company, 25 lakh booked revenue, 12 lakh cash collected within 2 months. They 8x their business. You know what they do? Let me share that as well. Now, this is their landing page. Just by working on their positioning, they are able to grow their business. Okay. Build a 10 to 40 LPA job at top semiconductor companies in 6 months. We train you until you get. And look at this. We help him build this entire landing page. Should start with your outcome in how much time, and then authority building things, placements, everything. Okay. So this is exactly what you need to do when you're gonna focus on the positioning part. Right? So 1 to 10x, they came to us when they were doing around 50 lakh per month. They scale up to once a year. Just positioning matters a lot. Similarly, this positioning, like KT Semicon, Seco Big Data as well. I will share that with their landing page too. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah, here is this. Look at this, right? So these are all. Look at the brands he has placed this students in. Look at this case studies. Look at that. Cool. So these are some of the great case studies that people have built just by focusing on the position. So for work on who's the problem, for who's your target audience, what is the outcome in timeline and guarantee. Now let's move to the next one, which is step number three, market tailwind. Like choosing a category is most important, right? That grows with you. Now a lot of people have think that okay, K-12, shall I test prep or shall I do what? Now within EdTech there are multiple niches. One, K-12. Then you have test prep from ninth class onwards, 8th class onwards till 12th. Test prep, GATE, GMAT, IIT, NEET, whatever that you're solving, UPSC and all this. That's called a test prep segment. Then comes a segment of college freshers, jobs. They need upskilling, they need jobs, they need all this. And then working professional who need upskilling, and then of course, more higher packing jobs. And then you have B2B like schools and universities. So which market is the rising market? Understand this. As I mentioned to you, if I have to scale, if I have to build a tech business, I personally going to target the fresher market and the work. The need is higher. They do have a paying capacity because it's the career. There's an urgency there. If they don't gonna upskill, layoffs gonna happen and they will be, or they will stay stuck. So you need to look at the urgency. Which audience have a paying capacity? Which audience have a high urgent need right now? Bent budget, authority, need, and time. And this is a perfect audience to start with. So this is another look factor that I will look into if I have to build a scratch business from edtech. If I have to build an edtech business from scratch. Right? So a tech business position with structural tailwind grow partly by default. Those fighting headwinds must outperform getting declines too. So for example, I will share with you the test prep segment is such a saturated segment right now, and it's such a price sensitive market because of the big players like PW or some other big brands like Physics Wala and all that stuff. Even if you want to charge premium, of course you can charge. We do have a case study here, and again, it comes boils down to positioning. So there's a Harvard graduate Manav, okay, who graduated from. Give me a second. Who graduated from? You know, uh, yeah. Just give me a second. So let me give an example of one of our client, Manav. Okay, he came to us in last October, November, where he wanted to do, start an AI platform for test prep segment. He's told me, Sachin, I want to charge 2,000, 3,000 for this entire platform, and I want to build it for multiple courses like GATE, GMAT, NEET, UPSC, and all, and SSC. I told him, why you want to do that? There's so much competition already there, right? I mean, why you want to do this? Because you will not be able to win the game, and he is absolutely from scratch. You can't win the ads game, performance marketing with this small price. You will not be able to generate enough margins to scale your business. Why not you add some service to it? Kind of provide mentorship on Gate and GMAT. Pick these two examples. That's it. That's it. GMAT people will have a paying capacity because they have to go out. Okay. Gate, top level exam. Tech, again, that's a paying capacity people. So why you don't want to target that? He listened to us. And you know what? How much he's closing? Every single week he's closing around 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh deals every single week worth of sales. And he's a solopreneur, by the way. Single-handedly managing the tech, platform, mentorship, everything, sales, marketing. And look at his wins here inside the community. Like recently he closed 73,000 sales yesterday. Within a day, 73K. In a week, he's closing approximately 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh deals. Look, two new sales this week, 40K, 65K, another 40K in the pipeline. Closing become two new 2.5K sales in the last 10 days. Looking to scale more now. Two new sales. So look at this, like consistently he's been closing deals. So if you want to pick any target audience, I would highly recommend pick the ones that can pay you more money. Simple as that. And this is the case study. Test prep is very price sensitive. What you need to do in test prep is you need to pick your audience very well in test prep as well. GATE and GMAT students. Now, GMAT is basically a working professional who want to move out of India, or a graduate want to move out of India by giving a GMAT. Similarly, GATE is also a master's program in for EdTech. These people do have some paying capacity. That's why I said build something for this category of the age group of 20 to 40 to 45. I'm going to target this industry and position myself and scale that company. So you need to hear to the what market is saying, where the marketing is heading, and look at the population of India. More than I think, I don't know, 300 and 400 million people is into the youth category under 45. You can capture that market easily. All right. Hope this makes sense. If you have any question, post in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer those. Next is operational leverage, fourth step. Scaling without proportional cost growth. More learners, less overhead, better margins. Now, this is the biggest challenge a lot of edtech founder face when they scale their company. The operation cost goes up. Right? So, what I mean by operational leverage? Operational leverage basically means adding more learners, that is more sales, more students, and more revenue without adding more proportional headcount. That's where you need to have a lot of software, AI, recorded courses, AI, like kind of accountability and all those things. That is scalable. You need to invest more in the software over a service heavy model. Because when you are building a tech platform, you need to need a lot of mentors, teachers who can teach, right? Let's suppose if you are closing 50 enrollments a month, if you want to do, let's suppose 500 enrollments, or let's say it's 200, 300 enrollment a month, look at your operational costs, how it will go up. Okay. So here you have to invest in the some of the softwares. AI, I mean, there are now advancement are happening where your mentor need not to be there physically or even virtually. AI avatar of them can take them those sessions. Simple as that. Okay. So low capex expand market without large upfront investment. AI driven learner support, as I mentioned to you. If you have a accountability support, use a lot of AI, reduce the dependency, and then automated onboarding, assessment compression. So all these things that you can do, right? So this can really help you scale your business faster because there's a less dependency on operations. If I'm scaling a business and there's an operational cost, there's a company called Cloudshine Pro. They were doing around 12 lakh per month when they approached us in October, November last year. And you know what was the profit margin? Hardly 1 to 2 lakh. Think about it. Think about it. 12 lakh, hardly profit margin was around 2 lakh. All of them were operational cost. Salaries, infrastructure, and marketing spend, a mentor paying to the expert and all this. They were providing Oracle IT training to the IT working professionals and the BTech freshers. So you need to leverage more of the software, more of the technology to keep your operational leverage. Otherwise, you will not be able to scale. And then we help them to scale to approximately, I think they did around 4 months, they did around 23 lakh. That is doubling the sales. Right. So if you can bring in AI and leverage, you can scale your company multifold without increasing the operational cost, right? Next is the last part, which is basically creating a moat, building a moat, so that your competition cannot mess with you, right? That is defensible differentiation. What is that moat or differentiation you are having? Okay. So content alone is no longer a moat in today's time. When I say content, I basically mean information, knowledge. Oh my, this is, I have high class tutors, teachers, faculty members. It's not a moat. Anybody can copy. Moat is something that no of your competitor can copy. What? So, and it's much more deeper than that. So, a defensible edtech business must have something structural difficult to replicate. Exclusive credentials, proprietorship outcome data, community network effects, and deep brand trust. In today's time, your moat is your outcomes. Outcome. Simple. Are you providing those results to your students, community members, whether you're to K-12 or whatever that you have built, right? Working professionals, students, test prep. So your credential should be your moat. Like accreditation creates switching costs for learners and employees. Data moat. Learner to job performance data is extraordinarily hard to replicate. That means if you are helping anybody to do XYZ, what is the percentage of learners of yours are achieving that XYZ outcome? Your alumni network, okay? That is most important. And your trust. Basically, trust is the most important factor. When people trust you, they can pay you as high as you can charge. So that's what you need to focus on when you build an outcome focused approach. When people see you that you're producing result after result after result, your students are getting 90% these kind of results, automatically you're done. People know you are the person. Okay. And that's build your moat. So moat is something that people cannot copy. It's more structural. The more you do and the more you create content around it and use in your ads. So hope you will find these five things useful. Now I will look into these five things when if I have to build a tech business in 2026. So do mention in the comment section what is your learning out of this video, and if you have any questions, put that in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer. And if you need this PPT deck, again, put down scale in the comment section. I'll be happy to share this PPT deck. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.